Data imported by the wizard can now be validated and processed in the background. This means that large volumes of data can be imported while allowing the user to continue to use the system. The Write Down SIV routine provides an easy process to write down the stock of a unit. The system will pull through the current SIV and a user will enter the new SIV value. If I navigate to the posting, you will see that the old SIV value has credited stock and the new SIV has debited stock. The opposite entries have gone to an inventory adjustment account, given the difference in the P&L. Booking price profiles provides user-defined daisy chaining of grade prices to allow for pricing of bookings to be calculated based on multiple sets of price per number of nights. This pricing profile allows you to say, where you don't have a price for a 14-night stay in your standard grade pricing, how that booking price should be calculated. In this example, take two 7-night prices and add them together. You can have multiple variations of a 14-night stay. In this example, use a 3, a 4, a 3 and a 4 to get that 14-night booking price. You then set up a booking price profile set. This allows you to create a sequence of booking profiles when the system is calculating a booking price. You can pull through as many profiles as required, setting the order sequence. If the system cannot find a price for the first profile set in the sequence, it will go to the second profile set, and so on. If the system cannot find a price for any of the profile sets, then it will fall back to the standard pricing against the booking grade. Once the booking price profile sets are completed, you then assign a booking price profile set to each grade. Booking pricing restrictions allows restrictions to be put in place for specific arrival and departure days during a specified date range. This allows for easy setup to handle national holidays, for example. Against the booking grade, in booking night periods, you can say between a particular start date and end date. This example is from Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve. You'll only allow a minimum number of 3 nights and a maximum number of 7 nights. This overrides any other setup that you've got in the system, such as booking season date periods. Booking date restrictions allows you to specify whether a particular date is restricted for an arrival and a departure. So in this instance, I've got Christmas Day as restricted for an arrival and New Year's Eve as restricted for a departure. So here I've shown you how you can set those up against the booking grade. These settings are also available against the park. So if you want to control these at a global level for the park, you can do that. The Booking Deferred Account Reconciliation Report provides a better reconciliation of deferred payments made to bookings, as well as the ability to handle VAT changes between taking of payment and income recognition. This report can be previewed as many times as necessary without a journal being created. This report can be previewed as many times as necessary without a journal being created. As soon as you're ready to create the journal, select Create Journal, enter a posting description, and you can use the override posting date if necessary. This report is showing me the summary detail for this particular booking, and it shows that there is a penny remaining in the deferral account. It's now created me a general journal to move that penny from the deferral account into the income account. In this example, I've filtered on one particular booking. However, you can do this for all bookings that have value left in the deferral account where income recognised is true. Multiple park online payments provides the ability for booking payments made online to post to the different bank accounts based on the park of the booking. Previously, the point of sale payment method code, point of sale park code, outlet and till number were set in the booking API setup. Now, these details can be set per park if necessary. The API will now use the park code for the booking to get these details from the park record in EliteParks. Deal documents can be uploaded directly and automatically to a SharePoint document library. This allows ease of access from within EliteParks while providing the security and audit trail via Microsoft SharePoint. You can select the Deal Docs archive location to SharePoint. You can then fill in the URL of the Deal Docs SharePoint site and set the Deal Docs SharePoint folder. And when deal documents are loaded in EliteParks, they will be stored in that location.
Bank reconciliation improvements. You now have an option from the bank account statement page to undo and cancel a previously posted bank reconciliation if this was posted with mistakes. Once that has been cancelled, you then have the option to redo that bank account reconciliation correctly. As the new reconciliation has been created with a new statement number, you also have the added option on the bank account reconciliations page to change your statement number. So this reconciliation was originally statement number 2. We then cancelled that reconciliation. I can now renumber this new reconciliation with number 2 to match the previously incorrectly posted reconciliation. Easy Contact Insights allows you to have greater visibility from the contact card and see the business relation, which will give you direct access then to the related customer or vendor card. So from the contact list, we can see the business relation, which is customer. If we then navigate into the contact record, we can also see the business relation, which is a drill down function to take you, in this case, directly to the customer card. Inventory Documents gives new capability to adjust your inventory values. You can use inventory receipts and inventory shipment documents as an alternative to an item journal when making stock adjustments. So this example is for an inventory receipt, and we will look at increasing the value and the cost of our stock by a quantity of 15. Now that that's posted, if we just have a look at that stock item, we can see our inventory has increased by a quantity of 15, and we also have the cost price associated with that as well. And the general ledger entries will be reflective of an item journal having been posted for a positive adjustment. More control over settings for default dimensions means that you can set your dimensions as code mandatory whilst also setting a predefined list of allowed dimension values. If we look at a general ledger code, for example, and we have dimension 1 set as code mandatory, we can then choose within here Which of these codes are allowed when posting into this general ledger account? Getting raw data from a report in Excel from the request page allows you to run a report and in your send to options, choose to send as data only. This will send the requested information into Excel without any predetermined formatting. Dimension corrections for GL entries allows you to correct the dimensions that have been used in financial postings on the general ledger entries. Now, it's important to note that when this function is used, it doesn't update the corresponding documents. It is just the general ledger entries that get updated. So you would need to be aware of this when looking at things like intercompany dimensions that were also being used. It won't trigger the changes with intercompany transactions either. So if we look at this one general ledger entry as an example, and I go to my entry correct dimensions option, we can see the park and department that are currently being used and the current dimension values. We then have the option to update and change these dimension values. You can also select to make sure that this updates any analysis views. So if you use analysis views for any type of financial reporting, you would want these to also be updated. We then have the option to run this correction. So one option is to run this via a job queue. And if I was to select this now, it will create the job queue and run as per the start date and time that we have determined in here. Or I can select to run this immediately. And if we just refresh the page, we can now see that the part code has changed against that entry. Default line type in sales and purchase documents allows you to set the default type that should be used in both purchase and payable setup and sales and receivables setup. In purchase and payable setup, you have the option to set your default line type. If we set this to item, and then we create a new purchase order, our line type now defaults to item. The same setting is also available in sales and receivables setup. Group general ledger and VAT entries in a posting preview and easily extend the posting preview allows you to do a preview posting and see the entries that will be posted in a slightly different format, but also gives you the option to show a hierarchical view to group those entries. So if we firstly have a look at the standard preview posting, where we can preview general ledger entries, vendor ledger entries, VAT entries, or detailed ledger entries. If you want to change this and use the new extended preview posting, this can be changed in general ledger setup, and we can change this posting preview type to extended. Once we've made that change, if we again do a preview posting, you can now see that this preview posting is in a slightly different format to show you all of the corresponding general ledger entries, VAT entries, and other related entries that will be posted on the posting of this document. And within here, you also have the option to show the hierarchical view or not. which again slightly changes the view in which you can see this posting preview.
With the latest release of EliteCRM version 2 and Microsoft general release of added functionality within the Power Apps and CRM platform, you can use the data-first search directly from the ribbon at the top anywhere within the environment. It will display recent records as you click in the bar, and then also very quickly be able to search across the system. The data-first search uses AI learning and will also allow you to filter on the records on the right-hand side. This is configurable and you can add custom views, tables, and fields within the data-first search also. We've added 2 new dashboards, the booking overview dashboard displaying booking outstanding amounts, analysis by park, and also analysis by city and month. Within the sales overview dashboard, you're able to see values like average selling price per park, site fees, and also the status and the overall deal margin based on the new values that we push up from EliteParks. As part of the rewrite, we now have our own Elite Leads table, as well as our own deal table, and also Elite Customer Care. Within Elite Leads, for example, you're able to see some of Microsoft's latest functionality with the ability to select any cell on your list view and copy those highlighted rows directly into Excel or other platforms. You've also got the ability to directly add columns. From the Edit Columns section, you can add and remove and also very easily move them around that suits you. Once you've done this, it's just simply saving as a new view, and then you have your new view saved as a personal view. We've improved the profile page on the contact record, which now gives you great visualization of the entire profile of the customer via charts, allowing you to see maintenance jobs, memberships, bookings, appointments, leads, and deals. And also the added benefit of having the values below the core entities also, which means you can trigger things like VIP bookers, where if they've booked more than 5 times, that can also trigger a workflow automation in the background. From any record on the contact, you're able to pop out with the new functionality within EliteParks, directly interact with the record, and the ability to work across the EliteParks record, adding a maintenance job, for example, seeing the previous maintenance jobs. Once you've updated the records, you simply close the pop-up card, and within the 1-minute sync time, that will update within EliteParks and EliteCRM. With the additional tables as part of the EliteParks and EliteCRM synchronization, we've added booking guests, booking vehicles, where you can directly pop out the booking matrix and find availability, which goes directly to that page, again, for more a streamlined approach directly within EliteCRM. We've also added housekeeping activities, which allows you to automate the process between the housekeeping department and the booking department based on the progress of the status. All of these records are updated within the sync time of 1 minute. On the booking record itself, you're now able to see the POS receipts related to that particular booking, the guests and the vehicles, and also any housekeeping activities related to that particular booking, as well as the ability for the new functionality of EliteParks pop-up card, where you can take a payment directly within the pop-up card, which will update in EliteCRM within that 1 minute sync time, and then be able to trigger certain journeys and automation that you have set up in the system. The other added functionality is more integration with maintenance jobs and add-in resource, which allows you to trigger, for example, automation based on gas bottle deliveries that can go directly to owner and also staff and wardens on the holiday park. Safety test entries with all the full details of the current test date, the next test date, and who tested it. That record is now, you now have the ability to see it against the unit record within the contact record, and of course for full automation to notify customers when their test date is due, and also report on this as well and have this displaying within your dashboard as all this data is coming up from EliteParks. From the unit record, you're able to see clearly all the information as well as additional fields that have been added, including all the booking information, housekeeping, sublet, and also the standing value of the unit. You can then see a subtable of deals, maintenance jobs, and safety tests, all directly from the unit card. And finally, with the new business process flow, which is for EliteCRM Diamond, allows you to work on the lead itself, interact with the timeline, and also interacting with the business process flow, adding the core contact information, whilst you're prospecting, adding in the budget amount and the preferred park and the lead source. Once you've completed these first two steps, you can move to the next stage, which then automatically goes into the appointment record, where you can fully interact with the appointment record with the added functionality of follow-up tasks and automatic appointment action close. And then finally, creating a deal directly from the appointment card, allowing for better flow from lead through to appointment through to deal, which opens up in EliteParks, and then will finally complete the business process flow. This also adds better reporting capabilities within dashboards, which allows you to move and report upon each area of the timeline on the business process flow.